in English. You might be able to guess why that is. It's because I'm a gringo. Sorry. I'm comfy in English. My Spanish I feel embarrassed about. Some assholes even insulted me about my Spanish. A couple of people who thought they were my friends, but fucking don't insult my Spanish. I know I have problems in Spanish. Okay? Don't try and be fucking better than me, you know? And a lot of times my Spanish is better than their English. Or sometimes theirs could be better. But the point is we don't need to go around criticizing each other for our language abilities. I have verb tenses I mess up all the time. I have special words I use that are Spanglish in the Bosque. You know, so let's not be language bigots. That's more advice for students, by the way. There's so many subtle forms of bigotry. I've noticed them, and I don't want the kind of people here who practice that a lot. I think it's fucking almost in every conversation with some people. And there's a difference between having debate, sharing thoughts, and just kind of insulting the other person. And so students should be thoughtful in their questions. Don't insult me. Sure, I could take it. I could give a shit. I could be a smart guy with a witty response. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But the point is, I don't want to know you. And I think you're on the wrong fucking team. We've got to be on each other's sides. And those sides got to be real diverse. And I think we need to look for the base good in the world. And that's the bigger world picture stuff of Bosque Village. But we don't talk a lot about that. But we'll listen to you. Make a good application. You won't believe how many fucking one-liner applications I get from people with no social media presence. Are they joking themselves? They're never going to be here. I don't know who the fuck they are. They got a picture, a name, and when I Google their name, I can't find anything about them. Fuck. But at least I'm getting more comfy now. The more good applications I get, the more I just ignore the ones that don't say any damn thing. What else you got to know if you're going to be a student here? Number of people, we covered a little bit. When there's a bunch of people here, it's real fun. When it's with me, it's whatever. And there's a bunch of people here. One of my pieces of recommendation for groups of participants of whatever kind, or whatever class, is that they stay focused on the project. It's really easy to have a party in the woods. And there can be some parties in the woods. But the instant that becomes anything close to taking over the concept, then things aren't working right. Things are working wrong. So don't make a party. Get out of bed in the morning. Be ready with the light. Live in the light. I mean, those are very basic rules. And it's for a very pragmatic purpose, to do with energy, to do with social synergy. It's to use the natural resource of the light. It's what we're evolved to do. That's why the rule exists, not just because I think it's fun to make people get up in the morning. Get the fuck up in the morning. And what you're going to do is you're going to learn to adjust your lifestyle so that you go to sleep earlier. There's no services or lights available at night. There's nothing going on. We don't have any late night movie. That may develop over time. I mean, it's not a moral issue, right? It's a thing of, do we want people staying up all night and just having a party and then leaving and disrupting this attempt to make an actual sustainable lifestyle? I mean, an individual, as I like to extol, that each individual is an adventure. I'm not saying all adventures are good. And people come here with different reasons. And I've gotten more cautious about who I have here and why. Why do you think I have an application? Some people are offended by the application. I think that's great. They shouldn't come here. One lady told me, actually several people have told me that they didn't like some picture on something, a Facebook page or this or that. And it's like, well, obviously I do. And I don't know who the hell you are, so your opinion means nothing. People say the darndest things. They're not always real good things. I gotta eat this guy. Now, you gotta cook these first. As an aside, as a participant, do not harvest any plants you aren't already trained to harvest. Where the fuck am I? There I am. You can die from eating some mushrooms here. Don't do that. That's rude. I know which mushrooms are which, mostly, but sometimes I go to the book and check. Depends on the mushroom. So in July, late July, August, there's a lot of mushrooms here. You can see the link below somewhere about all the mushrooms we found in the spreadsheet. So we're still on the student thing, right? Well, so you're going to think about the food system. If you're a part of it, you're going to be super efficient and amazing. You're going to follow direction exactly. You are not in charge of the kitchen. I say that very clearly to anyone coming here new. If you do have kitchen experience, you will prove it to us very quickly over time. And then if you want to do kitchen stuff, you can do it. But the kitchen has a system. You question the system before there's going to be any changes. Kitchen help needs to focus on that. Do what you're told when to do it. Don't bother anybody. There's a million other roles here. Now I'm writing up those roles in the Bosque. I'm writing them up because, you know, I gotta wonder what my own role is. What's my job? What am I supposed to focus on? What makes me more worthwhile? What makes me develop? What makes me make other people happy? What can I leave for the time after I die? What's my legacy? Holy motherfucking Jesus. Those big mushrooms over there. I don't need more right now. So what else? Reasons not to come. I'm nuts, semi-nuts by some standards. I don't like to be bothered a lot. So I might talk to you a lot, I might talk to you zero. Those are my choices. Just because you're here doesn't mean that that you own my time. I'm an extremely private person, despite this video. And I might enjoy your time, and also you might enjoy your time without me. Maybe I feel lonely and I'm bugging you. You can tell me to go away. But I'll also feel free to do the same to you. Social contact is not obligatory on either party. Yar. So this is the Canon Vixia Mini X. Been fixed slightly. My image on the screen is upside down, which looks really goofy. I'll try and take a shot of that and insert it to show you or put it somewhere. So that's still fine, it works. A very close friend of mine took it apart with her delicate fingers. It was quite frightening, but since it didn't work at all, I figured there's nothing to lose. She fixed the switch. She was very good at it, actually. She was like a doctor. She did a very good job. And she was confused at times, and I was confused. It's confusing, take apart electronics thing and get it back together. It wasn't all simple. But anyway, the screen is still upside down for some reason to me. I can only use the controls when I close the viewfinder. Then I can use the controls. So there's something to do with the strap between the two or something. I don't know what's the problem. I'm using it, so what I see when I look at you is I'm upside down. That really doesn't matter to you, but whatever. Arr. So, anything else on the student-teacher bullshit? I could certify you in permaculture. You'll have to read my thoughts on what a PDC means and why I offer the kind of PDC that I do and how it's different than others. Also, you can read about my advanced course in PDC stuff, and you can also read about my very important course in social permaculture. I add the word because in truth, permaculture is largely about plants, and And it doesn't talk a lot about social systems, so I'm going to just add the adjective, even though it should be included in the word anyway. And so it's social permaculture. And that's a harder course. I don't think I'm going to publish that one. I think I'll teach that one here. I don't know. We'll see. If you want to come here, pay the least, and bother me the least, then you're much more welcome than somebody who needs a bunch of stuff from me. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the house sitter, different volunteer levels. Let's go with house sitter to start with. A house sitter is just here. They have to have a vehicle. They have to have a working phone. They have to be highly intelligent, not stupid. Couples are preferred. Small groups, okay, but they'll be checked very carefully because this is, when there's people house sitting here, it's shut down. There are no parties. This is an intense, alone experience for the house sitters. We offer, I don't know how many beds. Beds, 23, buildings, 6, no, I don't know. Some people can stay here. They can have their own gas tank and their stove, and water, we'll get you some water somehow. There'll be a caretaker, master caretaker, who knows how actual systems work. I'd like to fill this up with house sitters, actually. It's a special role. And that's the easiest way to come here for free. Certainly can't come for less than a month unless you've already come for longer before. So you'd want to look up anything I've written about house sitters and any videos I got on it to learn about that. Next step up from that we'll call short-term volunteer. I get these all the time, every day. These are travelers through Mexico who want to stay for free for a night or something. And they're kind of self-centered, young. Don't give a shit about this place, most of them. Some of them do. Some of them have, well, that's a different kind. These people are just looking for a free place. I don't really like to meet them or know them. It's not useful for me to talk with them. Maybe if we made cool videos. I don't know, we'll see. What do you do with a dumb fuck? Well, mainly I try not to accept anybody. I've been doing really good at that. I hardly accept anyone anymore as a volunteer. And then there's paid volunteers. Volunteers who are willing to pay a little bit are awesome, because that's my income. And so, yeah, we'll do work trade. You've got to make sure your work actually has some value. Most people's work doesn't have a lot of value. We'll do a really good job at trying to instruct you well, but you'll follow those instructions very carefully, and you'll do a good job for your work trade, or you lose your work trade. I can't tell you how many people there are out there who want to go to a place that's work trade and then not do any work. And I'm very flexible in what kind of work it is. I've gotten more flexible about that over time. But, oh my God, makes you lose your faith in humanity. On the other hand, there's lots of other people who are awesome, and they work, and they learn, and they're pleasant, and we get to know each other a little bit, they have a good time, and they leave happy, and I was part of their big, cool Mexico adventure. That's cool, too. Another category would be people who are inquiring about residency. And that's a touchy topic for me because, like I said, I'm pretty misanthropic at this point. And the thing is, I need to make a form where people tell me about themselves, because you wouldn't believe how many messages I get asking about residency, and they don't say anything about them, and there's nothing to find about them online. They frighten me. I don't like them. And then sometimes they send really dumb messages too. But anyway, I need to make a residency form. It's probably linked below. Hopefully I've done that. Oh, God damn, it's so beautiful here. That's why it's a shame I don't share this place. I'm actually trying to share it. I really am. But I want to share it in a way that doesn't destroy me. That's why I need to look for participants, residents, visitors, people, interactions with people, sponsors, connections to the rest of the world. Now that I've broken off all my connections to the world, I think it's time to reconnect. Because it turns out civilization is pretty good in a lot of ways. Not in a lot of other ways. But, so this is me instructing you what it'd be like to come here, but there's a lot of other issues, and you should be thinking about Bosque issues that are important to us, if you think you want to be part of this project. Travelers don't mean much. People with a vision, a compatible vision. Those people can even come here and be leaders. It isn't just come here and do what you're told. But if you're not going to be a very highly effective, prepared leader of some kind, then do what you're told. And there's a big gradient there. And it varies by theme or topic. No, none of us are perfect. And there's not even this magic Bosque doctrine that says, this is what's right and this is what's wrong. Actually, there is. I take that back. It's the wiki. It's thinking about every damn thing there is and recording it so that we don't have to have the same stupid conversations over again with people who don't know anything. So the wiki can be that. We could have online discussion groups, various kinds. We can have various rule sets and agreements we are agreeing to. Now you might say, Brian, that sounds pretty weird. Why do we need all these rules? Can't we just get together some nice people and have it be all okay? And I'll tell you, after years of study and noticing what's going on in the world and what used to go on in the world according to stories I can get access to, no! Humans are terrible about getting along. There's all sorts of problems. And so we're going to have to kind of take a look at that in social permaculture issues and see why on the most basic conversational levels we aren't civil and rational and can compare values and can be kind to each other even in our differences and can also stop forcing other people to do what they want. That's probably the bigger problem. Is there's a huge number of people who think the solution is to force some people to do what they want. That's a bad solution because people don't like it. You shouldn't steal their natural resources. You shouldn't steal their homes. You shouldn't do things like gerrymandering and, land is such a huge thing. Lately I've thought the idea of Georgism is interesting. I like that, maybe. You can look it up. It's basically the only tax would be on land. Right now I pay very low taxes. I don't want to pay more, but maybe it's about the value. I don't know. You can go read about it. Georgism, it's about different tax form. What else for students? We're still going with the students. How long have I been recording? This is a nut tree. Right there. I planted it. I'm very proud of it. It's beautiful. Look at it. It's taller than me. And it was just a tiny little seed. I need to plant 500 more nut trees, at least. They're hard to grow. They're hard to germinate and stuff, but whatever. I don't know what kind of nut that is. It could be a walnut, a pecan, or something, or we planted a variety of nuts. What else? Look at the what to bring list. Take it seriously. If there's any flaws in it, tell me to update it. The directions are simple. If you actually read them and follow them, you need to plan ahead for your visit. This is your travel advice. You need to plan ahead for your visit. This is not a great place to show up last minute. We do occasionally accept last minute people for a very short time in a limited way. But very short term, last minute people like couch surfers or warm showers people or a friend of a friend, it's not really ideal for us. We can do that because we like to meet people. We might interview them. We might not. But it's a high cost for us to have them here. And so many of them want to come for free. So the answer is kind of no. At this point, I'm tired. I'm just tired of hosting people for free. And I don't even think it's polite to ask. Well, no, it's fine to ask, whatever. But I might edit that out. Doesn't sound very welcoming. One of my problems with the Bosque has been that I haven't been very welcoming. I've made it sound harder to be here than it really is. The rules intimidate some people. They should. Good. Most people shouldn't come here. I actually do want to scare a lot of people away. I'd like to scare away slightly less or attract slightly more. I think that's the better goal, is better marketing and letting people know about it. The people that don't like the idea of, not littering and not doing other stuff here aren't necessarily the people I want here. There's plenty of festivals. There's plenty of land around you can go have a party on. I'm not going to have a rave here. It's not going to be events open to the public. I don't like those. Maybe I'll build a salon de eventos that people could go to and get married or something on the other side of the barranca, on the north side there. There's a lake. We're now at 54.5 minutes. Although I'll probably edit something or other I set out. Who was I talking to? Oh yeah, students. Oh, good luck with that. Remember, the responsibility is on you, not on me. I'm not responsible to teach you shit. It's your job. I might be helpful. Don't give me a hard time about it. Pay me. We'll have some fun.